Yeah.
Talking about playoffs and balling out. Down 2-1. Yo, you was talking about your Golden State Warriors a little bit. Jimmy Butler, is he really robbing?
This I brought this up because I wanted to ask. I needed Jeff to answer this.
Okay.
Because I was talking to a couple of homeboys and they was like, he's robbing. That means like he's number 2. I'm like, he has no clue. It came to my mind after watching game 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Game 2.
When he kept on passing the ball.
Yes. I was like, he doesn't know what he's saying when he says that he's robbing.
I'd agree with that.
You don't have a clue.
Mm.
Robin always had something to prove. If you didn't have Batman, in some cases, it might seem like you would have wished that you did have Batman and not Robin in some cases, from what I've seen. You know what I mean? Because Robin was relentless. Robin did not care. Robin didn't have
stop.
no parents. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't have no. He's like if you watch you know who he reminds me of? If you watch Invincible, the newest Invincibles,
Aren't they all based off of those type of characters?
the younger
Kid
brother.
Omni-Man?
Yeah.
Kid Omni-Man? Yeah.
Yeah, kid. Yes, the baby.
Kid Omni-Man.
That's who he is. He might kill somebody, but like, I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. See,
I don't see why we're not doing this.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
why are
saying.
we not doing this? We're always strong.
So if you not being aggressive, if you not playing, if you know what I mean, like if you being passive, literally passing the ball in situations where you need to be attacking,
he got to turn
you're
up.
not a Robin.
You gotta turn
You
up.
need to step up. I'm telling these cats, I'm like, y'all, I didn't want to say it to them, like, y'all don't know who Robin is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm
I
like,
feel
Robin
like-
was the leader of the Titans. He's the leader of the
Absolutely.
Teen Titans. He is the Batman of the Teen Titans. This cat said, all right, Titans, go, and beat up everybody by his daggone self.
Yeah.
But
There's
Jeff
a-
knows
there's a-
about it. Jeff knows way more about Robin than I do. So that's my take on that.
There's a few different ones, right? But like,
Yeah, you
you're
got
right.
who you got? You got Damian, you got Dick Grayson, you got
Tim Drake.
there's like 8 of them now.
Yeah, there's a dude.
Got
that's
Red
technically
Hood,
Robin Hood.
Red
Yep,
Hood,
Jimmy Cox.
Nightwing,
Mm-hmm.
just a bunch of variations.
But like, the thing with Jimmy that's frustrating is when he understands that it's on him, he'll be aggressive, right? When I think, and I think what happened in the other game without Steph is he was focused on trying to get everybody else involved, and he lost that killer that he had in Miami.
Oh, you think he's still trying to build the rapport with the team?
Yeah, I think that he was not so much build a rapport as I don't know my exact spot in this offense yet.
Mm.
And it was easier for me to do this with Steph because he facilitates. So, like, I think he was like, oh, well, the offense runs really well with Steph when he facilitates stuff, but Steph is also aggressive in his own way. And Jimmy plays a different style of basketball. So he wasn't sure if he needed to go at the basket because he's not hitting threes like he was in Miami.
Well,
You know what I mean?
well, you would know because you a Miami Heat fan.
Mm-hmm.
You a Miami Heat fan.
It wasn't like he didn't shoot a whole lot, but he shot like those clutch threes that you need.
But he had a green light though. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's going
Right.
it's going from a team that where you had a green light to another team that
He got the
He
green
got
light.
the green light. He got the green light.
He got the
just-
green light. It's not the
It's
green.
meant to
It's
be.
not a Steph Curry green light,
right.
but it's a green light.
It's amber.
Where when he first got to the Warriors, Draymond was like, "It's cool that you passing and facilitating and all of that type of stuff, but we need you to score."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not like it hasn't been said to him. It's not like I could see him like, man, why don't y'all tell this man to attack the basket? Why don't y'all tell?
Yeah.
It's not like it hasn't been relayed to him that this is what you need to do.
Especially when the squad is
Draymond
solid.
probably said that the game, like right at the end of the game.
No, he said it prior to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He said it in the regular season, like, we need
No,
you
I'm
to
saying
score.
he reiterated.
Yeah, like I'm like, cause he was like, I just want, what I'm here for whatever y'all need me to do. And I was like, We need you to score. That's what
Facts.
we need you to
Shoot
do.
that ball, man. Get that
And
ball in that hoop.
I get you doing all of that type of stuff in the regular season, but you got to be aware of the moment. But I will say this. I saw a video on YouTube that made me rethink all of game 2.
Okay.
It made and reinforced to me how much I dislike Steve Kerr as a coach a lot of times.
There you go. Say it. Talk about it.
So apparently this cat is still like, you know how LeBron does feel out games in game 1?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Kerr used game 2 as a feel out game.
To just
He was rotating
testing the water?
Yes. He was rotating players in and out the game to see who was the best matchup for what in game 2. So all throughout the game, you saw I do like this about the Warriors. If you play for the Warriors, you're gonna play
You gonna
for
get
the
some
Warriors.
times, yeah.
In the
You gonna get
playoffs,
time.
you're gonna if you the
Yeah.
12th man on the bench, you can be assured that you're gonna get in the game at some point
there
in
you
time.
go. Yeah.
But this man was rotating, like was trying to figure out who fit the best against them during that game.
How you know when somebody's gonna get
hence
hot?
why Jimmy is being passive, because he's giving everybody else a chance to score. And so game 3 he had 33.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about this the night of game 4, prior to game 4, so we don't know the outcome. But I will say this. If they do not win this game, it is over. And Jimmy he don't need 33. He need a 45.9.
Yeah, he gotta get that Mitch type game.
Yeah, and Buddy Hield
He
needs
need a
to have
Mitchell type game. Done.
Yeah, he need to have 40. Buddy Hield needs to have 30. And we need a third person to step up.
Yeah.
We need a Braden, what's his name? Brandon Podziemski. We need you to show up. I know Jonathan Kuminga.
Draymond to have 20.
Yeah. Huh? Shoot.
Draymond to have 20.
Draymond had 33 the other night.
Didn't he? I about to say he was balling.
Yeah. Draymond had 5 threes in the game
Jesus.
with his flat shot.
That jump be going straight in there.
I'm like,
he don't gotta jump too much. That's why he doesn't have
did not
to jump
used to
that much.
play like that. Have you seen his college highlights?
He had more movement, more mobility. When you get older, your knees start to be like chips.
Shoot, but year 2,
Hey, you don't understand. You find your shot, stick with it. Don't change
that is
it.
not a shot. Change that flat shot that
Nah,
you got.
keep it, man. If it go in, keep it.
No, that boy.
He scored 33 with it.
That's why that's why he got drafted, because he could score the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of, and I'm glad I'm on air saying this right now. Draymond, if you don't learn how to bounce pass,
What the heck?
Yeah.
he don't know how to bounce pass. He never met a chest pass he ain't like. I'm like, that was not.
He trying to get it there.
He was like, I think I'm a point guard. I was like, I know you think you a point guard. You don't know how to bounce pass. I'm like, you don't know the different scenarios and situations. Like, now is not the time for a chest pass.
You know
they're
what
not going to be ready for this.
I hate when Draymond try to put the ball on the ground before you shoot it. Sometimes I be like, what is you doing? You the biggest man out of there. Just dunk on that dude, bro.
Also,
and stop trying to commit the foul.
Yes, and when you coming into the lane like a bull in the China shop, make sure you make the daggone layup. I already know this a brick. Already know it's a brick. When he come in full speed on the layup, I'm like, this is coming right off the glass, no rim. Stop. You 35.
Hey.
Made a career off of turnovers and missed baskets.
That's crazy.
About to be first ballot Hall of Famer, too.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
They got mad rings. I don't care.
But Jeff, can you speak to yes, being a former fan? I mean,
Miami
him
fan.
being you're a current Miami fan, I would assume.
And was you a Jimmy fan as well?
I did like Jimmy, and I thought that he was the perfect fit for us. But I understand both sides of this equation, right? One, you're aging, and every time you drag us to the finals, because you've been dragging us to every playoff appearance we had since you've been here, you give out because we don't have no help around you.
Right.
So I'm not giving you a max contract because I can't count on you being available, right? And he's like, yes, but that whole first part of that statement is I dragged y'all here. so I deserve something. I don't like how he left. I thought that was in poor taste, but I understand both sides of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
And having watched one game of the Heat in the playoffs this year, because we got smoked, and I was like, oh, there's no point in watching this series because they're just gonna get sent home. So,
Yeah.
like, I get it, right? But I think Jimmy, if they were using game two as a feel out game and he's just not being aggressive on purpose, what it looked like was Jimmy was still trying to find his place in that offense.
When he's in the game, honestly, when he's in the game, the offense is centered around him.
Okay.
I love the way that he plays because I'm like, wow, this man is a shooting guard playing in the post. I love that. Back to the basket, looking for the open man and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, our number one option is out of the game. We don't need to hear comments from you like the game is much harder when Steph is not playing. We don't. Water is wet.
We know.
Like,
we know that.
Right. And so for me, as a Jimmy fan, as a Heat fan, I thought that y'all weren't gonna miss a beat. To be honest.
Oh, I knew that too. I was like, I watched him play like, man, if we had Jimmy, I wish we had a player like Jimmy. It was what I used to say.
And now you got him.
And I was like, when he won it out, I said, he coming to us. He coming to us. I've been saying.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense. Fastball.
Who wouldn't want to play with the greatest shooter of all time, especially when you want to be a number two?
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, I've done the number one thing. I just want to chip at this point, and I get it.
But that feel out game crap.
You gotta stop that. But that's Steve Kerr's.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
did the same thing for the Olympics game.
How arrogant is that?
He did the same thing during the Olympics.
How arrogant is that?
Andy Reid did the same thing too, with football.
I
don't.
How you feel? How you don't feel out games in football? In the playoffs?
No, but
you do feel out games in the playoffs.
So what they
it take way long.
That was a feel out game. Okay, well, feel your way to the couch.
They were winning games by like one possession, like every time, right? But they weren't. The offense wasn't.
You were saying their whole season was feel out game.
The whole season. Well, the whole regular season is a feel out for the playoffs. To be honest with them,
that's insane.
But that's how
sit your behind down. We need a DB right now.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened.
He putting people that don't even play that position. But coach,
let's try you out at wide out. Like, what?
If you watch how they were operating during the regular season, it's
you
different from how they were doing the playoffs.
Right.
You going to today.
You gonna learn today.
This is a feel out game.
Bro, during the game, coach, I don't even know that play. You know football, don't you? You play Madden. We got a zone 2. Let's go.
Right. Let's go.
That's insane, bro.
So that's really how they operated that whole season. It's annoying.
LeBron did a feel out game. LeBron did about 4 feel out games this season in the playoffs.
Yeah, they ended up. Now they in Cabo.
He didn't get that 5.
Right.
He definitely didn't get it in 5.
We cannot lose to Anthony Edwards, yo.
That man nice, though.
No,
he is nice.
We got Gary Payton the second back, so he gonna lock that up.
I don't know.
No, I don't know, because Anthony Edwards got some good D, man. He played bully ball, too.
No, Gary Payton the second plays good D as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're the number one defensive team in the league. Like ever since we've always been like flirting with 10. Every year, like that is one thing that I do like about Steve Kerr is that he does put an emphasis on defense.
Yes.
He knows defense wins championships. But when we got Jimmy, number one defense in the league.
Now, that's nice. Yo, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. That Draymond Jimmy connection. That, you know what I mean? That
because neither one of them are afraid. They're never afraid to play the best defensive person, and they'll do it the entire game if they have to.
Right.
So
Cool.
that's the thing that's definitely missing in Miami right now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because Andrew Wiggins, who's supposed to be
He said it too. He was like, "It's heat culture, but it's." Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm listening.
You had it.
So Jimmy said when he was leaving, like after this whole thing, he was like, "Everybody's saying it's heat culture, but that's how I play basketball. Like it wasn't something that
Right.
I learned when I got to
Got
Miami.
to the
I had
Miami
already
Heat.
been,
Right.
I had already been doing it.
Right.
And that's one that is how Spo likes to coach his teams. So like in the next 2 or 3 years, I feel like that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a sidebar, I feel like Pat Riley should retire and Spo should take over.
At picking your
basketball operations. Yeah, at picking players.
At picking your players.
And talking to him.
And yeah.
And yeah.
You're
That'd be dope.
you're not gonna tell me as a white man that I'm not going nowhere. That's what he did to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler requested a trade, and he goes, "We're not trading you." So then Jimmy started doing all the stuff that he began to do. I'm like, you can't tell me that as a black man, and you're a white man. You cannot tell me that I'm not going nowhere. You're not. I'm gonna force my way out of here. I will never play for you
Players League.
again.
I don't know why you would say that. Like you could say that in the NFL. Like
Yeah.
First of all, you shouldn't be saying it, but if there was a place for it to be said, it would have been in the NFL because that is a league-run thing,
Exactly.
not like a team or a player-run
Yeah,
thing.
and they learned us just like they learned the Sanders family. They had to relearn us. This is our league, not y'all. This ain't the NBA. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just like watching this to circle back to the point. I think Jimmy is a true Robin, but I think that to his detriment, sometimes he'll just do what you ask him to do
Wow.
instead of taking over.
To our detriment.
Yeah,
That's your squad.
I'm like, bro, you like
Facts. That's your squad, man. To your detriment, he'll do what you want to do.